scrappy friends, and welcome to a very impromptu live session today. I'm so excited because Creative Memories launched the product I have been waiting for such a long time, and it launched this morning. It's now released out there. You can go take a look, and I'm going to show you. It's this little machine right here. So I've had this little machine for a little while now. We had the opportunity probably like a year ago. Some advisors were able to purchase that and get one. And we, at the time, it was kind of like to vote to see if we wanted it in the main line. And it was an overwhelming yes. And so here we are today, sometime later, but we very excited to get this in and start using this on our scrapbook layout. So this is the Die-Cut Embossing System. I'm going to turn my screen around here in a second and we will take a closer look at this. So I'm so excited to be here today. I thought let's do something a little bit different and let's look at this machine close up, and then you can decide if it's something that you want to add to your tool shed. Basically, it's another tool, so you want to consider that option, but it's a great one. So I think that you might decide yes after you see it. So anyway, let me go ahead and turn my screen around and we could talk more about it. Have any questions, pop it in the chat and I'll do my best to answer if I can, or find the answer for you. Okay? Okay, this is it. Like I said, mine is slightly different than the current model. They made slight adjustments to it, nothing that would make me run out and get a new one. You'll see it has the suction cups there at the bottom. They suction right to your surface. So it is a smaller size die cut machine. If you already have a die cut machine of some kind, it's probably a little bigger. I actually have another one, and in all honesty, I have two. I have two other machines. I have a bigger size Big Shot. It's a crank system like this, and then I have an electric Sizzix one as well. And so you're probably thinking, why on earth would I want another one? Well, this one, they're all different. They're all different and special and unique in their own way. But this one is a small size version, and I'm going to be able to keep this right here on my desk. And right now I actually keep it behind me on my shelf, and that's probably where it will live. But it's easy access, and just to get one thing done right away, you're in, you're out, you're on with your page, and trying to just, I guess, speed up our scrapbooking a little bit. Okay, so let's look at the different parts, and then I'm going to show you via some screen grabs that I have what's coming out today, because what I have here, what you see on these items here, this came out with the test box that we had, and I don't know if they're going to bring those back in to the line. I kind of assume at some point they may bring these back in, but we're going to go over all the different pieces and then I'll show you what came out today. So the first thing you need is the little mechanism, the little machine here itself, and then you need some plates. Okay, this comes as a bundle, and I don't have all my plates here with me. I'll show you why in a minute here, but it comes with the 6-inch plates and then 12-inch plates to do the different functions that we can do. There's also a 6-inch embossing folder that I just haven't used yet. It still has the wrapper on it. So we do need the plates because that's what you're going to put your material in and slide it through your machine here to do your different functions. Okay, so we'll come back and talk a little bit more about the plates after we go through all the other pieces. Then we have the metal die cuts. Okay, these are what's going to cut out the shape from your paper. And this probably sounds like a lot if you've never used one before. This might seem like a lot of information and a lot to do, but when I show you here in a minute, you're going to probably be as wowed as I was the first time I've seen this. So the metal dies are going to help you punch out some or cut out some of these little small intricate pieces that normally you would either have to have an embellishment pack or sticker sheet or something. This is going to help you cut out the little pieces that, and avoid cutting it out, maybe like fussy cutting it out from something. And you can also customize it to your layout specifically. So here's what they gave us the first time. And here's some of the cutouts. We're going to actually work on the camera a little bit later, but here's some of the smaller pieces. Okay, and then we also have 12-inch dies. This is really unique to Creative Memories. There's not another company around that I know of that has a full 12-inch die cut. And so you do need a special long 12-inch plate to cut that on. Okay, the great thing about the having it coming out of a die cut rather than a punch or border making cartridge is that we can have the alternating design like that. It's a little harder to do that on a punch, the regular punch or border making cartridge. So I think we're going to see some really fun designs. A couple are came out today. I'll show you those in a bit. And so we're going to practice. I'll show you how that works. And then that brings us to the embossing folders. Okay, these are again the two that came out originally. This one is the Creative Memories shutter. Let me see if I can put something behind there. So nope, that didn't help. I think there you go. You can see that pretty good. It's the emblem, super cute. We're gonna work with this one today too. And then the other one was a camera. So there's two different ones coming out today as well. Okay, so those are the pieces we need. I'm just going to mention this little poker tool. This is the dual tip die cutting tool, and this will help you to kind of lift the paper off the die cut, poke it out. I use this end mostly. If you get it started by poking it through one of the holes in the back, then it's easier to take the die off. So this is completely sold separately, so make sure to drop one of those in your cart if you're purchasing the system, because you're gonna want this little tool for sure. Okay, let's come back and talk a little bit more about the plates. Okay, because the plates is what helps. You need either a die cut or an embossing folder, and then you need the plates. The plates are different widths. I think, let's see if we can get that on the camera there. You can see they're different widths depending on what you want to do, and they're all perfectly in height to match the system. So what I'm hearing about the plates is well, all the materials, let me back up one step. The metal dies, if you're saying, oh, I already have a machine, can I use the metal dies in my old machine? Yes, you can. These are universal. You can put them in any machine. Embossing folder, same thing. However, you want to be careful with the plates, because in order to, you wouldn't want to mix Creative Memories plates with your other system or your other systems with Creative Memories system here, because then it might not fit appropriately. It might jam up and you can risk breaking your plates. Okay, so let's see, let's look at the cutting plates, because that's the one I used the most. You can see here I have a little bit of scratching or etching on it. Whenever you put a metal die on, it's going to leave a little etch mark. It's totally normal. This is going to look a lot worse once I start using it more often with the new borders that are coming out. So when you put it on, the die on, it will leave the little mark. It's fine. It eventually, over time, you may prefer to get a nice clean one. These do need to be replaced once in a while. Okay, so the idea is you put the paper down, you put the die on top, line it up just so, and then you put the second one on top like that. Now, this is the great thing about Creative Memories that I absolutely love. When I first saw this, they actually labeled that for us. So we always know which one is the base plate and which one is the top plate. And you think that that would be pretty obvious once they get a little scratched up or whatever, but it's truly not when you're trying to, work and you're in a zone and you don't know. And so this is so helpful. On my other machines, I've actually had to label them. So so I think that was a nice little added bonus. But also, you'll see this one says universal top plate. That's because we would use it for the metal die as well as the embossing folder. Remember, it's all based on the thickness as it rolls through the machine. There's a roller in there, and it's all based on how the tension is going to be pressed up against that roller to get the perfect cut or embossing that you would like. Okay, again, we have it'll come with two separate sizes, the 6-inch and the 12-inch, and they're all 3 inches wide. Okay, that is one of the limitations of the desktop little cutting machine, is it's only 3 inches, so your dies cannot be more than 3 inches. Okay, I'm gonna walk you through this, but we're gonna stack up our items and then push it on through at the same time as cranking it. Okay, let's give it a try. Let me grab a piece of scrap here. We'll try the small one first, and have a little piece of paper here. And so I'm going to put the base plate down, my paper on top, and we're going to use the little camera. And you can conserve paper. We can even trim this down if you wanted to. I find with my other machines is once your plate gets a little bit scratched up, if you have the excess here, you might get a little bit of an imprint on it. So if you can, trim it down. So I'm going to put it there, and then I'm going to take the top plate, and if it moves around too much for you, maybe put it down here on the base to get it set up, or you can even use a little piece of washi tape. But just be really gentle and careful, and then place the top plate on, and you create a little pocket like that, or a little sandwich, and then you kind of push it. I'm kind of keeping it pressed down so it's not sliding around. I'm going to slide it into the machine, and I could feel it in there hitting the little roller, and now I know I can start cranking it through. You hold on to this top part, and you give it a little bit of a crank. There we go. It makes that little clicky sound. You might have heard that. Don't worry, that's totally normal. It's just where it made a little bit of pressure right there to make the punch out. So that's the negative space right there. My die cut is right in here. Okay, let me grab my little tool and show you how wonderful this little tool is. So you can do a couple things. You can kind of get underneath. Oh, I already got it up just by nudging it a little bit. So that came right up. Another thing you could do is poke it through the back and get it going. And then once it's a little bit showing, then you can just come in with this flat side and pop it right out. Not hard, not hard. It's just great to have the tool, because some more dies that are more intricate may tend to get a little bit stuck in there. And then there's my camera. So it's let me put it where you can see it. There we go. Super cute. It had these other little shutters that you can place on top, things like that. Super great. What I think is so wonderful about this, now I have one camera that I can use over and over and over. And if you've ever seen me create, I use cameras quite often. So it's something that you could use again and again, just changing the paper, changing the color. You could use it on cardstock, on pattern paper, your choice, but you can create your own custom embellishments by using these small dies. You can also have some layers by adding some of these details. And you know me, I'm going to be tucking that into the side of an embellishment cluster, tucking it under. It's going to be popping around all over the place. We're going to see that one coming back in for sure. So that's how you would use the smaller ones. Just cut down your paper and use the small plates. Let's do the 12-inch die. This is the showstopper. So we have the base plate. I'm going to use a 2-inch. This is about 2-inch, or I think it's about a 2-inch piece. And I'm going to take my die knot. This one I kind of have to angle it a little bit. So that it's hitting, going diagonally based on the type of die that it is. So I just got it on there as good as I could. And then I'm going to have the universal top plate, put that on. Again, I'm going to pinch it to make it, squished together. and I'm going to run it through. I've got it started a little before I let go of it, just so I know it's in there and it's not going to move, and then I crank it. It's a very smooth crank. You might hear that little clicky sound when it gets to the end here. There we go. It wasn't as loud this time. Let me move this out of the way. There we go. And we'll take it out and look at it. Okay. And I'm kind of being rough, but all of a sudden I realize I better be kind of gentle here. I don't want it to rip, but you'll see. And like I said, this is one of the unique things about the Creative Memories die-cut system, is that it's going to do these nice 12-inch borders for us. Isn't that cute? I love it. I just love it so much, and I can't wait to see what else they bring out for us. Okay, so that's the two different types, the border, 12-inch border, and the smaller pieces. And I'm going to put that aside. And now let's try the embossing folder and see what you think about the embossing folder. And I will admit, I don't use an embossing folder as often on my layouts. I have in the past, but now I'm really going to try and focus on it. So here's what we need for the embossing folder. We need the cutting base. No, I'm sorry. We need the embossing base plate. But what I wanted to show you was the difference in the width. You see how this one's thicker because it needs to get close to that roller and push it up. Whereas now I'm going to add in an embossing folder, so it doesn't need it to be raised up as high, because this is going to have a little bit of width to it. Okay. Now with the embossing folder, it's again 3 inches wide, just like the base of our die-cut machine here. So we cannot use a piece bigger than 3 inches. So here's a 3-inch piece of cardstock, and it will fit perfectly. You put it in the center, and then you see the design. If you could feel it, you would feel a little bit of a raised, like this one is raised, and then this one is kind of inset, but it still has some texture to it. And you place it between these two in the folder, and then you close it up like that. And we put it on our embossing base plate, and then we want to make sure we get our universal plate in there as well. We're going to create that little smushed sandwichy kind of effect here. Let's get this a little closer to me. I do want to make sure it has these little wings out and flat. I've been moving it around. It does stay very nicely on the table with those suction cups. Okay, and I'm going to push it in until I could, and it starts turning. I could feel it hit in there, and then I'm just going to start turning it. You could see it's not hard to crank at all. And we didn't get the clicky sound, probably because it's not a metal piece popping. Okay, and we take it apart, we open it back up, and you're going to see the little bit of textured, embossed look right there on the paper. I definitely can feel it. And it's just very subtle, especially because I used this blue cardstock. But it's just enough. And so I know you're probably going, why would I want to add texture to my layout? Well, the texture on your layout helps your eye to have something else to look at. You can take a really basic layout, run a piece through your embossing folder, and it's going to just elevate your layout instantly just by adding that little bit of texture to the border or the layer of paper. Now I would tuck this maybe behind another piece of paper or behind a photo. What I actually want to do is show you that you don't have to always use a 3-inch piece. You can put any size piece in here you want, but it just can't be more than 3 inches. So let's try it again with a 1-inch piece and get our top plate back on. The embossing folder is a little bit easier. You don't have to worry about it moving around so much once it's in there. However, you might want to take another look and make sure that you're on the design, especially if you're not using the full 3 inches. I like where it is right there, so I'm going to, oops, let me change that. Now I moved it. There we go. Okay. And once it's in there, it's kind of pressed in there and you're pretty okay. Okay, now let's see what happens with the 1 inch, and it's gonna work the same way. Yeah, so what I love is the size of this and that it's so portable. My other one's heavy and bulky. And there we go. This one's on a little bit lighter piece of paper. You could still see it there. And this would look really nice just on a strip off to the side. And instead of having patterned paper, this would give you a little bit of pattern and design. And because it's raised up a little, giving you that dimension, it's just very pleasing on your eye. I wanted to show you really quickly too. Bring in, I have this piece laying here from a border cutting tool that I had left over, and how simple you can make this. Just put 2 pieces together. Let's see, we'll put there we go. And you have a great, easy border just like that. And this could be, you can bring in your other punches, your border making cartridges, give it a little bit of flair at the bottom and a little bit of texture at the top or the side. And what I really want to show you is how we can use it with other tools. Give me 1 sec. I forgot to bring it in, but it's right here. And that is my favorite tag punch, because you can really do this with the embossing on so many different things. So I'm going to show you here. Uh-oh, is this 2.5 inches? There we go. So I'm going to punch out 1 tag, which is my 2.5 inch by 4 inch. Bring my little guy back in. Let's do the camera one. I'll show you. I hate to show these if we can't get these yet, but maybe we really want them. We should let Creative Memories know. Okay, yeah, let's do that one. And I have my embossing base plate over here. Now they're all mixed up. And my embossing base plate here, the top plate here. The tag is snug inside the embossing folder, and we will roll that on through. It has a little handle up here you can hold to keep it a little more stable if you need to. Okay, and there we go. My tag now has, well, that'd be cute on a little travel page. My tag now has a little bit of some cameras embossed on it. So I love that, because I know I'm going to be doing all kinds of embellishment, creating embellishments for my clusters now, using all these pieces. So super happy about it. Before I flip over and show you what is available today, I just wanted to point out how small this folds up. Easy for storing, easy for taking with you to a crop, suctions to pretty much any surface. I'm going to be going to a advisor retreat in September, and I'm going to pack this along and show you how we can easily take it with us on the go. Okay, let me let me change my slides around here and show you what is available today. Okay, so this is the starter bundle. This is what I was showing you. You do need this to kind of start the system. It includes the machine and the plates, a set of both plates, both sizes of plates. The reason I didn't open my embossing one yet is we don't have a 6-inch embossing folder, so I'm wondering if that's going to be coming around soon. But it does come with an embossing 6-inch plate as well. And in this bundle, they have a special feature with the little smiley face. You can kind of build your smiley face, your kind of customize is the word I'm looking for, your machine, and it comes with several different ones. You'll see that when you go online. And so that's kind of fun. Like, it reminds me of like Mr. Potato Head, where you can build any kind of face you like. So that's the starter set, the bundle that comes together because you need all those pieces to work the machine. And then the die cuts that I was showing you here, I'm going to show you better pictures than this, There's some die cuts coming out, the metal dies, and some embossing folders. If you wanted all of them, you would want to just click on the decorative bundle set. And when I come back, I'll tell you what I purchased today. But anyway, you can click on this and get all the fun stuff with one easy click, or you can do them individually. So let me show you those as well. So these are the metal dies that are coming out this week. And I really feel like this is going to be the start of something great that we're just going to fall in love with and use. So you're going to see there's two 12-inch border dies coming out. One is the lattice wave over there. That's from a very popular layout that was done. This is going to make it so much easier to do that kind of a layout. And then the second one is the Star Trail. I love that. But you see how it's kind of flares? It's the one in the center of the screen. It kind of flares on both sides. It's very hard to do that with a border punch. I don't think you can. That's why we have our metal dies. So this is going to open up a lot more possibilities for us to get creative on our pages. And then the one that's kind of fallen off the screen there, sorry about that, but it's the real life and its titles and icons. That's going to be super fun. There's a lot of ways that we'll be able to take those words and mix them around and get a lot of use out of our this set. You know I love my little words. These are going to be perfect. I can't wait to get my hands on these and see how big they are and how easy they are to use on the page. And then it has the one embellishment cluster base, and I love that. So that's going to come in handy for sure. And two embossing folders are coming out. All right, they're already launched actually this morning. And here it is. One is called Dotted Burst. I think that's very, very beautiful. Don't forget, we can now start using our inks on some of these as well. So that's going to bring in another whole element to our pages. And then the one off here too, well, that would be my right, is the hexagon dash, it's called, and it looks like that. So those are both very universal, that we can use over and over. And then the last thing, oh, I did not show the storage. I don't think I gave you the storage things. Oh, bummer. Anyway, there are a couple more items that are coming out. An alphabet set. That's so wanted. They went with this generic alphabet set at first. I hear we're going to be getting some more, so let's hope. But this is the first one. It's block serif, so it's kind of common to what they already have for their die cuts that they sell individually, the packs of them, but now you can cut any letter you need or want. If you need 5 A's on a page like I do sometimes, then now you can just punch away or die cut away. So I think that's awesome. Some reverse grip tweezers. Those I think were in a secret box a while ago, or they came out somewhere, but now they're back in the line, so that's awesome. And then replacement plates. Now, I'm not saying you need to rush out and get those replacement plates. When you get your starter set, you need those. You have some already, but you will eventually need to replace them. But it does take a long time, so not to worry. And let me see if I can pull in. Did I grab? I did. Let me see if I could change this out really quickly and show you. Let's see what's going to happen here. Put that there. There I am. Put this one back here. And let's see here, lock this one. Okay, so there we go. There's the storage. Sorry about that. I thought I had all my slides ready. They came out with a new storage case that will hold the slim line. It's called a slim case. You'll see it there on the screen. Organized case slim, and it will hold those 12-inch dies perfectly and your embossing folders. Has dividers, which are sold separately. So make sure if you want dividers, you put that in your cart as well. Now you'll see here in the screen, it's on a magnetic plate, just like we're here on my desk. That will come with all of our dies from Creative Memories. That's huge. Plus, let me tell you, I have a whole magnetic wall of dies that I use, and they did not come with the magnetics, and it's hard to store them. So this is going to be a great storage solution. And then Creative Memories already had the pod case, the large size, and that's where you can store the smaller sets like the alphabet and the small die cut set with the real life is what we have, what we'd put in there now, and I would put my camera set in there as well. So those are the two storage solutions that they released. Well, the one was already, but the new one that they released today. So there we go. That is the new die-cut embossing system. Creative Memories. I hope that you are excited as I am. You guys are going to see me start bringing this in more and more often. In fact, I told you I would tell you what I purchased, so I will tell you what I jumped right on at 7 a.m. this morning. Well, I had to. I went walking, so I had to do it before I left. But anyway, so yeah, I don't need the machines. I already have that. So I did get the decorative bundle. So I just want to see it all right now. And, you know, maybe later on I'll pick and choose. But right now, each piece in there is sold separately. So if you didn't want the whole thing, you can just buy what you need. I just want to see it all and use it all right now. I'm going to come back when I get mine. Hopefully it's going to ship quick because I'm going on vacation next week. So if I get it before I leave, I will jump on and show you what came in that bundle and what I got. I also did get the slim organizing case with dividers because now I have a few that I could of these, and my die, I will have to cut my own magnet strip for this because we did not get that in the kit that we had, but not a big deal. It's just one die, or maybe I'll be able to squeeze it on with something else later. But anyway, that's what I got. I'll be back and show you once I get my box. Okay, well, if you have any questions, leave it in the comments. If you're looking to purchase it, I have my my link is in the description of the video. And if you just want to go take a peek at it, it has all the dimensions and everything written over on Creative Memories website. Go take a look. And other than that, I'll see you real soon. Take care, everybody. Bye.